I thought this was going to be a pretty normal Amex versus Chase comparison. Then I started going through the cards and I realized I was comparing them wrong. Because Amex is basically asking you to justify an $895 card. Chase is really asking whether two much cheaper cards make more sense together. And once I looked at it that way, the answer got a lot clearer. Now, for context, I actually run businesses, so I'm looking at these cards as someone putting real ad spend, software, equipment, and operating expenses through them. Not just comparing benefit lists on a website. I care about what actually saves money or makes the business money. So I'm using three cards to show this: Chase Inc. Business Unlimited, Inc. Business Preferred, and the Amex Business Platinum. Not because they're the only business cards out there, they're not, but because these three show the actual difference between the two ecosystems. And depending on how your business spends, you'll probably know pretty quick which side you land on. Let's start with the price because it's a big spread. Inc. Unlimited, $0 a year. Inc. Preferred, $95 a year. Business Platinum, $895 a year. Now those aren't three versions of the same product. They're basically three different questions. With the unlimited, it's, would this make my everyday spending a little better? At $95, am I earning enough to justify paying for this? And at $895, am I actually using enough of this giant list of benefits to make it worth it? That's how I ended up thinking about this. The unlimited is the boring one, and I mean that as a compliment. 1.5% cash back, basically every purchase, no annual fee, no category spreadsheet, no standing at checkout going, wait, which card am I supposed to use for this? You buy something, you get 1.5% back. There's also 5% on Lyft rides through September 2027. But that's not really why I'd get it. The actual reason I find this one interesting is all the random stuff a business buys that doesn't fit into some clean business category. You need a $900 printer. Someone's monitor dies. You pay a contractor for something one-off. There isn't always a clever 3x category sitting there waiting for you. Sometimes you just want a decent return without thinking about it. That's what this card is good at. Now, I wouldn't say every business on earth needs this specific card. I don't think any credit card deserves that sentence. But if you want something simple with no fee, this is probably the easiest one here to understand. And on its own, honestly, it's not that exciting. The interesting part happens once you put another Chase card next to it. The preferred is $95 a year. And now the rewards get specific. 3 points per dollar up to $150,000 combined each year across travel, shipping, internet, cable, phone, and social or search advertising. 1 point per dollar outside of that. If some of those categories are already big for your business, this gets interesting very fast. Say Meta or Google is charging your card several $1,000s a month, or you're shipping constantly, or you're traveling for conferences. None of that is some weird manufactured credit card expense. That's just the business operating. So if I'm already spending that money anyway, and now I'm getting 3 times instead of 1 times on it, okay, now the $95 starts making sense. But here's where I originally misunderstood this whole comparison. I kept looking at the unlimited and the preferred like, which one's better? That's not really the right question here. The unlimited earns cash back, but inside Chase, that cash back doesn't have to stay stuck at 1 cent a point. If the same business also holds a card like the preferred, it converts into full transferable ultimate reward points. The same points the preferred earns at the same value. So picture it like this. The random stuff that doesn't fit a category goes on the unlimited. Simple, 1.5%. The ad spend, the shipping, the travel. Whatever hits that 3 times goes on the preferred. Both of those rewards now live inside the same points ecosystem. That's the part that changed the comparison for me. The unlimited isn't competing with the preferred, they're doing 2 different jobs. One catches the random spending, The other unlocks what points are actually worth. And your total fee for that whole setup is only $95. That's the number I think actually matters here, because now we're comparing a $95 Chase setup against an $895 Amex card. Not $0 and $95 and $895 as three separate things. Now we move on to the expensive one, $895 a year, same fee as the personal platinum, and it went up the same way from $695. Earning 5 times on eligible flights and prepaid hotels through Amex Travel. 2 times on any single purchase of $5,000 or more, and on select business categories up to $2 million a year. 1 times everything else. You can already see how different this is from the Chase setup. Heavy ad spend or shipping spend points you toward the preferred. Heavy travel and large purchases point you toward the platinum. And then there's the credits. This is where I think people get themselves in trouble with expensive cards, because the numbers on the page look enormous. $600 a year in hotel credit, $220 for Clear, $200 for airline fees, hotel status with Marriott and Hilton, over 1,500 lounges, and one that's actually built for a business, not just relabeled from the personal card, a Dell Technologies credit, $150 automatically plus another $1,000 possible after enough eligible Dell spend. Now imagine you were already going to replace 4 laptops. Great, the card just helped you pay for something already on your budget. But if you run a landscaping company and haven't bought anything from Dell in 5 years, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's $1,200 of value. It's not to you. That's where these comparisons get kind of ridiculous, honestly. People add up every credit at full price and go, look at this $895 card. It hands you thousands of dollars. Okay, but would you have spent those thousands without the card? That's the actual test. So here's a quick version on points, since I've already covered the mechanics of this in more detail elsewhere. Chase points here work the same way as the personal reserve, 1 cent flat, up to 1.75 through the portal with this card. Closer to 2 cents if you transfer to a partner and know what you're doing. Amex points on the Business Platinum about 1 cent through their own portal, roughly 2 cents or more transferring to airline and hotel partners. Same ecosystem as the Personal Platinum, same ceiling, same amount of work required to actually get there. Neither program hands a business owner anything the personal cards don't already offer. The points math doesn't just change because business is in the name. And look, you've probably have had this moment where you're just trying to book a flight for work and suddenly some guy online is telling you to open 4 airline accounts, check award calendars, and transfer points at 2 in the morning. You don't have to do any of that. If you actually enjoy learning transfer partners, both ecosystems reward it. If you don't, that's fine too. I'd make this decision based on how the cards fit the business you actually run, not the version of you who's going to become a points hobbyist next month. One more thing worth knowing. Even though it's too new to fully judge yet, Chase also launched a Sapphire Reserve for Business. Same shape as the Personal Reserve, aimed at business owners who want a premium travel card without going to Amex. Too early to say if it actually beats the Business Platinum, but if you were about to default to Amex just because it's the name everybody knows, there's now a Chase option built specifically to compete with it. But here's where all of this lands for me. Pretty much every business should have the unlimited. It's free, and there's no version of should I get this that ends in no. And add the preferred once your ad spend, shipping, or travel starts to get real. Because that card is what upgrades what your free cards points are worth, not just a second pile of rewards sitting next to the first. The Business Platinum only makes sense once you're actually traveling enough, or buying enough Dell hardware and making large one-off purchases. To use several of those specific credits, not because it's got the highest fee and the most prestige attached to it. Most business owners overrate the flagship and underrate the free card that makes the middle one worth more. It's 2 Chase cards working together before it's ever really a question of adding Amex on top. Now, if you have to start inventing purchases to make the expensive card work, That's probably your answer already. Look at the last 3 months of your actual business spending. Not what you think you'll spend, what actually hit the account. Maybe it was ads, shipping, travel, equipment. That tells you more than any best business credit card ranking ever will. That premium Chase business card against the Amex Platinum, one-on-one, that's genuinely a different comparison, and I'll probably make that one next. For today though, between these three, I know which one I'd rather pay for with my own money. Anyways, guys, that will do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If so, please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already, and YouTube thinks that you'll enjoy this video next.